I'm going to reference BBC News, British Broadcasting Corporation is what BBC means in this commentary. The South Africans aren't playing. They've literally beat the brakes off of people. They've taken ownership of property and businesses. They're not playing. What they are doing seems to be working, right? It's gotten the ear of their government and foreign governments. Many Ghanaians are going back to their countries and they can set up their businesses there. South Africa did not fail the Ghanaians that are going home. Their homeland failed them. That's why they left. That's just my opinion. Respectfully, it is what it is, because when people immigrate, they do it for themselves, right? It's something about their country they're not quite satisfied with. So I'm going to talk about all of that. We're going to recognize that racially black people in Africa, even in the same country or other countries, are like completely foreigners. There is no Pan-Africanism, right? That's going to take a while. I'll talk about all of that. Plus, I will read a Pidgin article by Nigerians about what's going on between South Africans and Ghanaians. Let's get into it. So by now, most people who are really paying attention to what's going on in Africa and what they've told us, racially black people on the African continent, they are very into their tribal affiliation, right? It is what it is. For example, Gayton McKenzie in the middle here is colored. That's its own category. Former president of South Africa, Jacob Zuma, is Zulu. Current president of South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa, is Vende. So clearly, if you're some racially black person coming into the country illegally, you're not going to be seen the same as these people. They're all foreigners to each other, even if they're in the same landmass, right? Even if they're in the same country. So clearly, if you're not the same group of people in the same country, some racially black person from some other African country, you're not them. Africans understand delineation quite well. Let's just talk about what's going on in South Africa. What's up, ladies and gents? Thanks for stopping by Social Nurse. Over there on BBC News Pidgin site, there's an article about what's going on in South Africa between South Africans and Ghanaians, right? You know, we know that over there on the continent, the racially black people are not Pan-African, right? They are trying to get their governments to do right by them, right? In my opinion, and not necessarily South Africans, but racially black Africans flee African countries all the time. I'm beginning to think that tribalism might be kind of worse than racism through the eyes of a racially black African, right? These people are fighting to be taken care of by their governments, right? And they don't want racially black people from some other African nation illegally entering their country, staying in their country, committing crimes, illegally opening businesses, and all kinds of stuff, right? There's all kinds of rhetoric going on. I'm an outsider looking in, but I think this explains a lot as to why many African nations are in the condition that they are in. It is what it is. A lot of people like to blame everything just on colonization, but I'm someone that believes that the Europeans exploited how the Africans were already and how they were behaving, right? Better strategy, weaponry, and just knowing that these people, these racially black Africans, historically saw people that look like them as the worst thing possibly. So, just an opinion. I don't wish badly on any of these people. It is what it is. It's interesting as an outsider looking in, because it's a different dynamic to view, right? So we're going to recognize racially black people, and we know that Black America isn't, we're not the only racially black people on the globe. Other racially black people have, kind of asked that they be the center and focused upon. So Ghana began process to repatriate over 200 citizens from South Africa as some locals seized keys from foreign shops. This headline indicates that the South African Vigilantes have taken the keys of shopkeepers, okay? I'm on BBC, right? So this article is dated May 12th, 2026, and this is in Pidgin. I'm not native to speaking Pidgin, but Ghana authorities say over 200 people done signed up for voluntarily repatriation from South Africa. Sake of them, they fear for their lives. Them say them they face harassment and intimidation from South Africans as them continue to they ask them to commit their country. Anti-legal migration protests been happening for weeks for many parts of the country, with campaigners asking illegal migrants to pack their tents and come in South Africa. Whatever this man's name is, or these places, I'm sorry. One of them I can't pronounce because of all the consonants, but Durban, Pretoria, Escort, Johannesburg, and other places, hundreds of people protest against foreigners. Them alleged say illegal foreigners, they responsible for crimes for the country where them also been taking all their jobs. Ghana authorities done condemn the harassment and intimidation of their citizens after them repatriate. One man, Emmanuel Asamoah, will go viral when protesters confront him for him shop. Them say them find job for and wait him settle back with him family. Other countries like Nigeria, Angola, Togeda, with the United Nations been true mouth for what them call xenophobic attacks. Way them happen in the name of anti-immigration protests. That's the end of me reading this Pidgin as best as I can. What's happened is Ghanaians, 200 of them, are going back to their country. And remember, we've seen that video of that Ghanaian lady in that red shirt yelling that Ghana is for Ghanaians, right? So it's good that these Ghanaians are going back home, right? They are not wanted in South Africa. Many of them are illegal business owners, according to Dudula and March on Mark. We'll continue to watch, right? We'll continue to watch. I think the African nations, right, should accommodate the South Africans, right? Get your people out of there. Allow your people to set up their businesses in the countries they belong to. Maybe that's the best thing for now. Social nurse.